On our initial show, I shared with you that much of my inspiration comes from movies and TV shows and songs and things along those lines. Well, today, I'm going to talk to you about a movie that maybe you've seen, maybe you haven't seen, but the story and the character in it absolutely epitomizes of what we're trying to get across on our show. So thanks for joining us, and we are about to explain to you in a very powerful way what your life can mean, what the life of one individual can do. We're going to explain to you about the power of one. Hi, I'm Marc Accetta, the host of your show, and as I shared with you earlier, I want to talk to you about a movie today. And it came about because as we just got done with the holiday season, my daughters came to me and said, "Dad, you know, we love Rudolph and the Grinch and Charlie Brown and all that, but you know, what can you show us to get us in the mood that's different, something we've never seen?" So I went back to the files of the 1940s and pulled out the movie It's a Wonderful Life with Jimmy Stewart. And if you haven't seen that, you really should, especially after you watch this, because really it doesn't have that much to do with the holidays. More so, hopefully you're going to get the message I'm sharing with you now and want to rent the whole movie and get the full impact for yourself. But basically, in that movie, Jimmy Stewart plays a gentleman named George Bailey. Now, before I go on and share with the things about the movie and also our teaching points, I want to introduce one of our segments that we're going to have in our show here, which is our trivia segment. Okay, and during this trivia segment, I'm going to ask you a question, and the first 5 people who email us the proper response are going to get a copy of a book that I co-authored with several people, including Bob Proctor a couple of years ago, called The Power of Mentorship. It's a really wonderful book, some great stuff in there, some really top authors are in there with me. It's wonderful. So the first 5 people who send the proper response to trivia@thepowerofoneshow.com, make sure you include your mailing address and a phone number so we can contact you. We just want to make sure we get the book to the proper address. So here's the trivia question. Okay, the movie It's a Wonderful Life, which came out in the 1940s starring Jimmy Stewart, was based on a book. The question is, what's the name of the book and who is the author? So tell us the name of the book and the author. The first 5 people that do that will receive the book, The Power of Mentorship. Now, in the movie, Jimmy Stewart plays a gentleman named George Bailey, and George, as a young man, has big dreams and ideas. He comes from a little town, and his dad is the owner of a bank or a partner in a bank, and all they're doing is they're not making a lot of money. They're just providing homes. They're providing mortgages for all these people who don't have a lot of money, and his father's very proud of what he does and really wants George to go into family business, but George is having none of it. He wants to get out, be a Donald Trump kind of take over the world, be a Machiavellian entrepreneur, and just do some huge things, which is great. His father is sad about that, but understands and tells him to get it done. Well, just as George is about to go off to seek his fame and fortune, his father has a heart attack and dies, and George, being the right kind of guy, takes the responsibility of overseeing the business for a short period of time until they can find someone to come back and really do it the right way. Well, those couple of years turn into more years through a bunch of circumstances. Then George marries his sweetheart. Make a long story short, 20 years later, George is still in the hometown. He's never achieved any of his dreams. He's married, he's got a bunch of kids, he's got a bunch of responsibilities, and then he has a really big tragedy occur in his business. He's on the verge of bankruptcy and humiliation. So he has a bit of a breakdown. And when he has his breakdown, he says, "Yeah, I wish I was never born." He just feels like his life has amounted to nothing from all he really wanted it to be. And that's when the movie gets interesting. That's when George is visited by an angel who, you know, waves his magic wings or wand or whatever, and they go back to a world as if George had never been born. And it's very eye-opening just how many things would have turned out differently if he wasn't born. And in the movie, obviously, they highlight all the things that would have turned out very badly for so many people. So as you're watching this, I encourage you to watch the movie and get the whole story. But understand that if you feel insignificant, that's just not true. There are people in your life that you really matter to. And the bottom line is, if you look at your life as insignificant, if that's how you see yourself, then you know what? You're not going to have a very enjoyable successful life. You have to understand that your vision of yourself is everything. I remember I had a 7th grade teacher, and up to that point in my life, I had not really envisioned myself. I was a little chubby. I had not envisioned myself as anyone special. You know, I had a little bit of acne going on. I wasn't a great student. I wasn't the kind of athlete I wanted to be, and I just didn't have very high self-image. And my 7th grade teacher, Mrs. Gaba, for the record, said that when you get up every morning, you got to look in the mirror and love the person you see, because you know what? You're all you've got. So if you're not perfect, look past your flaws and look to the things that are good, because you've got to believe in you, because if you don't believe in you, no one else is going to. Now, that's a pretty powerful lesson to learn in 7th grade. And over the years, as I got older, I had more people, professional great speakers, the Tony Robbins of the world, help me reinforce that belief. But I'm here to tell you, you are what you think you are. Your image of yourself is everything. George Bailey went through this amazing outer body experience to have a better self-image, and to matter that he really did matter and his life did have purpose. Your life has purpose also, but it's only going to take on the proportion that it really should if you believe in yourself and if you see yourself as someone who has value. So that's just a little bit of a lesson. Once again, one person can do amazing things. You may not be a worldwide name like Donald Trump. You may not be the President of the United States, but believe me, there are people in this world that you matter to. One person, you, matters to a whole lot of other people. So please take that lesson and understand that, and make sure you're sharing this show with anyone you know that has that feeling of low self-esteem and doesn't feel like they matter. We all matter to somebody. So thanks for listening. We'll see you again next week on another show.